Jeff, I want to circle back around to something which is, um, when you're representing a seller and these offers come in, part of your job is to analyze the offer to make sure that your seller is accepting the best offer. Now, that means a lot of things, right? But one of the things I find intriguing, because it's unique, is your expertise in lending and what that means to a seller. I'd really love you to talk about that because I think it is ultra important.
Okay. Well, obviously, being a mortgage broker, I think adds a tremendous value to a seller, especially, and even a buyer, but especially a seller, because one of the things I do when I take a listing is I let them know my experience as a mortgage broker and that I still do it. And I'm a producing loan officer. I'm not just, I mean, I do more
Yeah,
loans.
it's not like your experiences from 15 years ago and it's
No,
stopped.
it's
You're
constant.
up on the current
Constant.
stuff
I closed
today.
a couple deals yesterday.
Okay.
So the reality of it is I'm pretty much the top producer in my office, even for the other loan officers that I have. So I'm very active in the loan side.
Okay.
So when I have an offer, I want to make sure if I know the lender, if it's a lender that I know, there are several lenders out here that I know personally. I'm friends with them and I trust them.
Right.
So I call them.
If you get a
Exactly.
pre-qualification letter from them, it's good.
Right. Well, I usually don't just take the letter. I
Yeah.
call them up and I say, "Hey, did you personally look at this? Did you look
Okay.
at their income, their assets?" And if they say yes, they're good to go. I believe them,
Awesome.
and I've never had a problem with that. But there's a lot of other ones that I don't know. I can't take that risk. So I tell my sellers that I will, when we get offers, I will look at the pre-approval letter. I will call the lender. I will go over everything with them, and they may have to send me stuff. They may have to send me tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, whatever I need to feel
Credit
comfortable.
scores, you said.
Credit scores. One of the things. So when I in my listing, I always put that they have to provide RPA, which is the residential purchase agreement, which is just the contract, proof of funds.
Hold on real quick. When he says in my listing, I believe what you're talking about is the listing that goes into the MLS that the other agents are looking at.
Right. So when an agent makes an offer on one of someone's listing, they have to look at the remarks. And in my remarks, it says that they must include this in their offer. So when they send me their offer, it needs to have the RPA. It has to have proof of funds, proof that they have the money for the down payment. It has to have the 3 credit scores. I always want the 3 credit scores. And then it has to be a pre-approval letter from a local lender or someone I know. If it's someone I don't know, I put a clause in there that they must cross-qualify with my company to verify that they are qualified.
So now, why is that important? Why is it important that when you are looking at offers on your client's listing, that they're solid like that? Why wouldn't you just, if somebody offered you 50,000 over asking price, why don't you just take the offer and then go through that process during the escrow? Why is it so important to do it before you actually get into escrow?
Well, I mean, you don't want to waste time. I mean, every moment that the house is off the market limits selling it in the future. In other words, if you go through an escrow and you have to wait 17 days to find out that they don't qualify and then put it back on the market, the market shifts very quickly.
Yes,
So
it does.
we could, if, like, especially during Christmas, if, you have a listing that's in October and you have a problem in November and then you have to put it back up on the market in December, now you're in the worst time
Yeah.
to be selling to get as many people to the house as possible. So it does make a difference, but it's more important that when we accept an offer that I want to make sure it goes through smoothly. And the only way to do that is to really know that this person can qualify.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get the loan. I don't want the loan. I don't care about the loan. I just want to make sure
you want
that
that deal, the offer to be solid
Exactly.
and closed.
Exactly.
I mean, I think this is so important. And another reason I just thought of while we're sitting here is if you're when you sell your house, you probably have a plan to move somewhere after that house is sold, right? So you don't want this fluid date at the end where you're trying to figure out when you're going to move. I mean, I guess you could move and leave it vacant, but if you don't have that luxury, then it's really important that that offer is solid so it closes so you can get moved.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool. This is a really unique perspective, and I absolutely love it. So I want to shift gears one more time and ask you about one more thing before we go, but that is 2024, right? Everybody's still probably a little nervous or worried about what is this year going to be like in real estate. Rates have come down. What does that mean? So do you have anything that you can talk to people about? If you're thinking of buying in 2024, you're thinking of selling in 2024, what do you tell them?
Well, my own prediction, obviously, is that I believe right now we still are, at least in the Santa Clarita area and nearby. We're in California in general. We're low on inventory. We don't have enough inventory still. And I just looked actually yesterday, and I want to say there was 275 homes, and that covers Agua Dulce, Acton, Castaic, Newhall, Valencia, Valverde, and and Saugus. Okay, so that covers everything. 275 homes. That's like 1.9 months of inventory. That's nothing. Where
And
good
then
market
if
is
you're
6.
if you're not looking for a condo, you take those out.
Oh yeah, and then it's crazy. So what I think is that I think the market's going to hold pretty steady as far as the values. We might see a little bit of a reduction, but not much. But we'll see. It just depends on where the house is.
Yeah.
I mean, on the outskirts, it's going to be, but if you're in the heart of Valencia or the heart of a city, or it has a great location, those homes are going to sell very rapidly and probably over asking at multiple offers, just because it is the way it is. And I also think that interest rates, hopefully, I'm praying that they'll stay where they are or even a little bit lower. And I think as we get closer, because it's an election year, I think as we get closer to November, I think the rates will drop as well. So that's going to be a good sign to bring out more buyers. And so I think it's going to be a pretty active market this year.
So you're predicting more transactions than last year. Because
Right.
last year there just weren't a ton of transactions.
No, not quite compared to previous years. But,
Right.
And then also I created a little seminar
Okay.
that I usually do it for corporations, where I go at lunchtime and I'll bring lunch and I'll do a seminar, but it's called How to Buy a Home in 2024.
Okay.
And it goes over.
What are some companies that you've done that presentation for?
Oh my gosh, I've done 125 of these seminars, believe it or not.
Wow.
But it's also spanning since 1999. But I've done Panavision, Universal Studios, MTV, Nickelodeon, HealthNet, Advanced
Awesome.
Bionics, Contractor's Wardrobe. I even did Easy Rider magazine. So I've done quite a few of those, and HealthNet, and I even
So
did police
can
departments.
like a normal person get a hold of that?
Yes, I actually, there's two things. I occasionally will do a seminar if I get enough people interested, where I can just have it at my office. I'll get like 8 couples or people that are interested in home buying, and I'll just do the seminar at my office in my conference room. And then I also created the whole thing on PowerPoint, and I voice over, my voice is over the slides, and I put it onto my website, so
Okay.
someone can actually go on there and
So they can just go to your website
yes,
and watch that
and watch it
with no commitment.
with no commitment.
They're just learning.
But even if
I
they
love
come,
it.
even
I love
in
it.
person, I don't ever. There's no commitment. I honestly want people to use me because they want to use me.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to feel forced that they're using me. And if someone wants out of the contract, like if I do a listing and whatever the case may be, and they don't think I'm doing my job, I'm more than happy to cancel it.
Yeah.
But that's never happened.
Right.
Because there's never
That's
a
because
time.
that's your mentality.
There's never a time I'm not doing my job. I mean, I am, I wish my wife gets mad at me sometimes because I work. I mean, I've gone on vacation, I've gone to Italy, and I've sold houses in Italy. I mean, I was doing contract. One of them I had 11 offers, and I'm sitting in Tuscany, and I'm in this amazing little house, and my wife is, back in the room, and I'm sitting there going through all 11 offers, talking to my client, trying to figure out which one we're going to accept, pre-qualifying them myself with with my calculator. So it was pretty crazy. But I mean, I love what I do. I mean, I love helping people, and it gives me so much joy
That's
to do what
super
I
cool.
do. So
And I know that's true of Jeff, and I know that because you love what you do, that's a big reason why you're so good at what you do. So really good
Well,
to
thank
see you, man.
Yes,
Thanks for coming out
thank
again.
you for having
Appreciate
me.
it.
I
We'll
love
do it
this.
again
Yes,
sometime.
absolutely.
And
So-
again, I'm John with California Leasing, and this has been This Week in Santa Clarita Real Estate.